Jazzcast Pros.
Are you considering downsizing to a tiny home or RV? If so, this episode is for you. We're concluding our Emerging Lives series with co-living in these spaces. Sharing living expenses like rent and utilities can significantly reduce financial burden to free up income for savings, spending, and other financial goals. And I'm also going to walk you through how to maximize your space without sacrificing style and comfort. Plus, you'll get tips on how to decorate and organize without breaking the bank. Welcome to the Declutter Empress Radio Podcast, a podcast to help you create a functional space wherever you roam. I am your host, Daria, and today we will discuss how to make your home your oasis. I don't know about you, but I've been looking for ways to decrease my living expenses to ease my financial burden. If you are thinking about this too, you're in the right place. I want you to know that I am having so much fun sharing this co-living series with you, especially during a time when a lot of us are looking to save wisely while also living in close community with one another. And not only sharing information, but also resources that definitely will make all of our lives easier, especially to ease the financial costs. So have you been thinking about downsizing to an RV or a tiny home? Well, let me tell you, if you have, it doesn't mean having to give up comfort and personality. Now, I'm not an expert at living in an RV or tiny home, and I don't own one, but many of the principles and tips that I share on this podcast definitely apply, and you can use them as helpful tips to create your oasis space, because that's what it's all about, creating your space, your peace, wherever you roam. So today I'm going to talk with you about 2 ways on how you can make the most of your space. And while we're talking about it, I want you to keep these 2 things in mind. First, think of your space as a tool. And remember, it's function over design. You're not looking to impress strangers or your friends with an Instagram corkboard of items that don't fit into your lifestyle. Instead, you want to create an atmosphere of ease and comfort, your oasis space. And also, I am basing these tips on the average size of a tiny home and RV that is approximately about 300 to 400 feet. That's about the size of a studio apartment. So let us begin here. And I'm going to be realistic about this because these are going to be helpful ways to maximize the most of your space while making it comfortable in both places. And please excuse me if you hear any rain outside of my microphone here. It has been raining and thundering, so please excuse that if you're hearing that. But, I think it's kind of befitting, but we'll see. So let's get started. First, create the space upon how much time you and the person you're living with will spend in each section of the home. The way you would do this is by considering utility. How will you move from one activity to another through using furniture you already have or furniture that you're going to acquire to be multipurpose? For example, you can double the living room into a bedroom by using a small convertible futon or even a sofa with storage. And what you can do, you can use the storage to put bedding like blankets, throw blankets, pillows, like small pillows, bath towels, or even seasonal clothing here since you won't have the closet space. And you don't have to worry about anybody peeking in there because it's your space. So you can store anything that you want to put in there to make your life easier. Now, if you're working from home, you can also even use the folding table as a desk. So, those folding tables that usually come in a set of 4 and you can eat on them. Well, you can also use them as a place to work too, remotely. Now, mind you, if there is a bedroom you'll definitely also want to have a discussion prior to moving in with your roommate on who will have this room, because I know that could probably be a major source of conflict if you're not sure, but it's still about making the most of your space that's easiest for the both of you to move through. For coats, you can use an over-the-door hanging rack, which is a great place to hang jackets, umbrellas, and keys. That way you're never looking for your keys or your umbrellas and whatnot. Now, for items that neither of you use regularly, use a small ottoman that can double as a footstool to place small electronic items like chargers, or even to store the kids' toys, or even video game controllers. Now, in the event that there is a bed with a space underneath, you can also use storage boxes like the flat storage boxes, or drawers with wheels that can easily slide between these spaces. For the kitchen, think about open cabinets. Think about an open concept. Wall shelves shaped like cubes for cups and dishes. This way, what you see is what you won't duplicate. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on these cube shelves either. So in the event you have a limited amount of cabinet space for food, consider also slim corner shelves that can easily slide between a space. For cooking, you could also opt for a portable induction cooktop. Now for the eating area. Now, I know many of us, we don't want to let go of those large dining room tables. I remember when I let go of my dining room table and my mom practically freaked out. Oh my gosh, where's your dining room table? I never sat there. Instead, I would use a set of portable folding tables. Like I mentioned earlier, the ones that you can eat on, and I also can work from there as well. You can use a set of portable folding tables and chairs, like a stool or even a chair that can not only be stored away, but also double as outside furniture too. And for a nice touch, you can always place a small vase with a flower or two for extra cuteness, if that's your style. Now also, when co-living, you want to get rid of duplicate items like blenders, eating utensils, and dishes. This will be helpful while allowing each other to have that one set of special glasses or mugs or plates. This way, you won't be crowding up that small area. So this is definitely going to be an area of compromise. For the bathroom, think about wall shelving to store towels, toilet tissue, Q-tips, and such to make for great space savers. Now, if you have accessories like blow dryers and flat irons and all of those great scented body washes, you can get a slim trolley, like a slim trolley cart on wheels for your toiletries. And these carts, they normally fit in small spaces where you can just slide them on in and you won't bump into them. The second way to make your space comfortable is to not skip on the decor. Going to a smaller place, downsizing, does not mean giving up on plants and color. When you're living with someone else, you don't have to give up your personality. Now, can you agree on a common color to make the place pop? Sure. By getting to know what each other's favorite colors and styles are, you can consider selecting removable wallpaper or painting that reflects each of your styles. Or if one person is an avid record collector and has that record player, but the other has lots of books, you can consider incorporating the record player into the decor and placing the books on the sides of the player so that the books serve as bookends. I think that would be real cute. You have to use lots of imagination here. You can also create multi-dimensional looks, which is one of my faves. If one of you, for example, loves photographs and they have frames all up and down their walls, but you love vases, you can mix and match the size of the frames and vases to create a multi-dimensional look. And for an additional space saver, You can also get a digital photo frame to save on space. So this will be really nice. So say if you have like a small, tiny vase and you have a large frame, like an 8.5 by 11 or whatnot, you can actually set this up and it'll be really cute. Think your favorite store that houses all this different types of home decor. You can even practice with that and go inside of the store and just work with it a little bit so you could see and therefore imagine how it will look in your real space. Also, mirrors are great for making a space appear larger. And it's also a great place to look at to apply your lipstick or check yourself out before heading out the door. It helps. It definitely does. Now, I do want to wrap up this Emerging Live series to say that whether co-living is a long-term or a short-term living situation, I want you to remember that wherever you are creating memories. Your coming together in these small spaces reveals more similarities than it does differences. So the home decor and other things that you bring together in this space, it'll reveal your sense of wanting to belong and to connect to another person, as well as revealing, I believe, our unique identities through what we consume. Well, that wraps up our Emerging Live series, and I hope that these tips are helpful to you in designing your oasis space. And if you're considering or have already downsized to a tiny home or RV, put it in the comments. And until next time, remember to take great care of yourselves and live clutter-free. I'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Declutter Empress Radio podcast. My name is Daria. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, a family member, or anyone who you think would benefit from listening to this podcast.